Hi everybody, we are Mike and Brenda Baker, and today we're going to be talking about when's the appropriate time to have a new baby.
When's the appropriate time to have a new baby? Maybe never. I don't know. We started out. Obviously, we're a blended family. That's why you're here. So the first two boys are from my first marriage. Third oldest boy, which I adopted, is from her first marriage, and then our two youngest are from us. Okay. Now, how did we decide at some point that we started out instant family? Okay, 3 kids, boom, instant family. So, on a side note, we're in our empty nest years now. We just married our last kid off in January. And it's interesting because we didn't get the time that regular married couples do in the beginning to get to know each other. We had to learn with 3 kids running around the house and eventually 5 kids altogether. But now, empty nesting, we're going to talk about that, but not today. So, because we know there's a lot of empty nesters out there looking for answers. We're going to cover that in some more videos further down the line. So, one thing that you guys need to remember, and I would say that this typically happens more with the women.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kids don't fill holes. Now, what does that mean? That means if there is a hole in your relationship, the kid is not going to fill that hole. All right. You're putting more logs on a fire. That's all you're doing. Okay. Remember, the primary relationship is mom and dad. Every relationship, children in the house, are subject to that relationship. Kids don't fill holes. They create gaps, but they don't fill holes, okay?
Yeah, it's really important that you make sure that it's a good time in your marriage to have another child.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not. We actually would have had we had 2 miscarriages in between my child and then the 2 children we have together.
Yeah.
And it was pretty devastating because we felt like we were ready, but obviously we weren't. I mean, there must have been something wrong and there's a reason for everything. At least that's the way we believe. But I think that if we would have had one of those children would have lived, it would have been harder because by the time we did have our first together, we had more time together. We had learned a few more things together, and it was the perfect time for us.
Yeah, I would agree. So, just keep that in mind. So that actually segues pretty well into number 2. Number 2 is it's not up to your kids. Okay. Now look, we had to be on the same page before we had another that was ours.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was a lot of discussion because we had a lot of drama with my ex-wife, a lot of drama with her ex-husband, a lot of drama with her ex-in-laws. We had some drama with her parents only because they didn't understand what was going on. And I don't want to make it sound like they were bad people. They weren't bad people. That wasn't it at all. But they were verbal. And so we were like, look, so we had all this drama going on, and she's right. That was probably not the greatest time, but we had to decide that it was a good time to bring a kid into that mix.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I say it's not up to your kids, now obviously you have existing kids in a remarriage. And I hear this a lot. Well, I don't know what Billy's gonna think of that. I don't know how Judy's gonna respond to that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Mom, dad, okay? You guys hold the office of parent. Well, Mike, you just can't. No, I can say that. I've done this, okay? It doesn't matter what the kids think. Doesn't matter if they're irritated, ecstatic. It doesn't matter. This isn't a new puppy.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another child, which means that you two, as the adults, need to make the decision based on what's best for your household and your family, not on whatever meanderings that your kids happen to have to throw into it.
Yeah.
Okay, some are going to complain, some are going to buck. It doesn't matter. They're going to do that if you buy the wrong cereal, okay? Remember, this is your choice about you guys. Now, maybe you think some of the kids are caustic. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. This is your child. And you, as the mom and dad, have the capacity to raise that child with love, even within those issues. And I got news for you. Most of the time, those other kids will be fine with another child.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, in some cases, and I'm not suggesting this, in some cases it does bring some of those siblings who aren't legitimate siblings together a little bit more. I'm not saying that happens every time, but it can happen, and don't do it based on that. Okay. But don't worry about what the kids are thinking.
Yeah, it's really not up to them.
No.
It's you guys that needs to, and maybe I should wait for this comment.
What?
Or should I just?
No, just both.
Okay. It's up to you guys whether or not you have enough time, whether or not you have enough money. Those are really big, important details.
Yeah.
If both of you are working, it's going to be harder to have a child in daycare all the time.
Yeah.
It's going to be more expensive and all of that. Now, it's not up to your kids, and it's also not up to your ex. Okay? You don't love your kids any less just because you have another child. And so really, whatever the ex thinks or says about it, it doesn't matter. You can't let it matter. It is an A and a B decision. All of the other C's need to just not be in that decision.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to love anybody any less.
Because that brings us to the final, which is, what's your why? Why do you want another kid?
Yeah.
You know, are you trying to fill a hole in your marriage? Are you trying to fill a hole in the family? Or do you genuinely desire to have a child with your spouse? Mm-hmm. Or is it, well, it'd really be nice to have one that's, okay, you're not buying another car.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about it, pray about it, talk about it. Okay. Why do we want this? Well, we would really like one that's ours. We really think that would be a great addition to the family. Okay. I can honestly say that the 2 kids we had that were ours were a wonderful addition to our family. And they're still a wonderful addition to our family. And one little word word of warning, I guess I want to leave you with is, you need to remember that a blended family is a lot like a petri dish. Okay. And maybe you know what a petri dish is, maybe you don't, but a petri dish, it's what they put under a microscope to kind of look when they put stuff in it, because you're going to have your kids and their kids and our kids, and they all will have very different upbringings. Some will have upbringings where they have to deal with your ex-spouse or the other ex-spouse, and there's gonna be sway, and there's gonna be things that happen. Okay. Whereas the kids that are yours will see those things, they'll be affected by them, but not nearly as much as the others. So you'll have very different attitudes develop, even though they're still a family, but a family all the same. Okay, so don't expect, when you bring a kid in that's yours, a traditional family. You're not.
Yeah.
The blended family is not a traditional family. Okay, if you go to, if you're religious and you're trying to do this according to Scripture, you're going to find that there's a certain way that a family can grow the best. The blended family is not that model.
Yeah.
Okay, what you're trying to do is you're trying to piece together something as whole and as complete as you can out of something broken.
Right.
Okay, so you're going to have great kids, you're going to have problem kids, and those things are normal, but just remember, the blended family is a different animal, and it's okay. Okay, do your best and make sure that when you're older and you've raised all of your kids, that you don't look back and say, I really screwed that up, and maybe I should apologize for that. You do the best you can by your family, and don't make any apologies for it.
Well, and really that's what we're trying to do for you here, is we're trying to teach you how to have a successful blended family no matter what happens. Mm-hmm. You might have a variety of things happen. You might have stepchildren that don't talk to you anymore when they get to be adults. That happens, okay? But when we're talking about when the appropriate time is to have a new baby, that is 100% up to you and your spouse and no one else. So on that note, we welcome any comments or questions that you might have. We are so very thankful that you came and took your time to be here with us today. And thank you so much. So we'll see you again soon. Bye.